Saudação, guerreiros e guerreiras. Preparem o hidromel porque hoje o papo é com uma das bandas mais divertidas e épicas da cena europeia atual. Eles misturam o peso do metal com o espírito das tabernas medievais e estão vindo incendiar o palco do Bangers Open Air. Eu converso hoje com o carismático Ben Metzner, o Prince, para falar sobre essa primeira incursão do Feuerschwanz em terras brasileiras, o sucesso explosivo de álbuns como Feuerschwanz e como eles pretendem transformar São Paulo em um verdadeiro banquete medieval. Ben, seja muito bem-vindo. Saudações, guerreiros e guerreiras. Preparem o hidromel, porque hoje o papo é com uma das bandas mais divertidas e épicas da cena europeia atual. Eles misturam o peso do metal com o espírito das tabernas medievais e estão vindo incendiar o palco do Bangers Open Air. Eu converso hoje com o carismático Ben Metzner para falar sobre essa primeira incursão do Feuerschwanz em terras brasileiras. O sucesso explosivo de álbuns como Feuerschwanz e como eles pretendem transformar São Paulo em um verdadeiro banquete medieval. Ben, seja muito bem-vindo. Uh, you guys are coming to Bangers Open Air 2026, and
Yes.
you've also released a new album called Nightclub. That is a very good name for an album. Um, how was it like mixing the static of the medieval nights with the energy of the dance clubs on this album?
It's funny because a lot of people say like the sound is like modern and electronic and dance and stuff like that. But actually, there's not that much electronics involved. It's lots of metal. It's lots of medieval instruments, folk instruments. But we use the aesthetics of dance music, like the huge build up before the chorus and stuff. These are arrangement ideas which come from the dance music, and we translated it into metal music. And that was quite a challenge, of course, but it was also lots of fun because that's what we've been doing all the time. We play medieval style music and mix it with metal, or we play a metal riff on a medieval instrument. So that's basically what we've been doing for 20 years now. And yeah, of course, important element is the humor, and the title this time was Nightclub. So that's a joke which only works in English, and in German it doesn't work. So that's why we put an English name on it. But it's the same old shit we've been singing about for 20 years now. It's about knights in shining armor making an epic party and having the time of their life.
And on last year, you've also reached the German national finals for Eurovision with the song Nightclub. What was
Yeah,
it
we
like?
tried.
Yeah, but what was it like bringing folk metal to such a mainstream audience, and how has that impacted the bands? And
I think we learned a lot. It was, I think I can speak open here because no one in Germany will read it. Um, I I kind of hate playing in TV. I love it and I hate it because I love it because it's big and there are great show opportunities and the huge LED walls and fire and all this shit. I love creating awesome things. That's why I love it. But I hate the TV world um, because it's so fake. It's so stupid and so fake. You have to pretend all the time, and the audience is so small. There are like 100 or 200 people in the room, and more cameras than actual people, and everybody is all the time smiling like this, smiling like crazy, lots of makeup and all this shit. And I just love being on a stage, sweating, screaming, being imperfect, being just how how I am and who I am, and giving all my heart into this shit, and people screaming at me and responding and all this. I love this. This is real for me, and it's not existent in TV. That's why I learned that metal should be like this. It's real, it's sweaty, it's lots of energy, and it doesn't really fit into the TV world. And I think lots of bands learned this lesson in the last 50 years or so, that metal and mainstream TV are not the best friends. And that's
But
beautiful because mainstream TV is stupid anyway.
yeah, it is. But
Yeah.
uh, like collaborations you had on this album were featured on TV as well, like Dodo and Lord of the Lost. Even Lord of the Lost were on also indicated for Eurovision,
Yeah.
and they
And
even got through. But how was it like having them on this album as well?
we exchanged our experiences, of course. Um, it's complicated because our uh, Eurovision, the process of the show was much more complicated and longer. There were three shows. We stayed for weeks in a hotel in Cologne and stuff like that. And Chris, I told Chris, and he was like, "Are you crazy? Are you stupid? I just came there for 2 days and rehearsed, and then I did the playback show and went home, and then we won." And we were like rehearsing for weeks. It was so crazy. They just changed the system, but in the end, it turned out the same. We played a tour together after all this happened, after we were kicked out, and after they lost the Europe, the finals and stuff. And we went back on the stage, and we kept sweating, and we kept screaming at people, and people screaming back at the top of their lungs, and everything was the same as the years before. So we just could have, um, yeah,
Ignored that.
we could have ignored all this shit.
But this is and Doro and a lot of the Lost did also perform on Bangers Open Air, and this is the first time you guys are coming to Brazil.
Yeah.
What have you heard about the Brazilian crowd, and what special surprises have you prepared for this debut?
Um, of course, I grew up with like record with live records of, for example, Iron Maiden, Death on the Road, or Rock in Rio and stuff like that. So that's how I imagine the people at Bangers Open Air. Like they don't not only sing the lyrics, they sing every note of the guitar solo at the top of their lungs. So that's how I imagine it. I hope I won't get disappointed, even if they sing not every note. Um, but to be honest, I'm really grateful to travel there. I would have never dreamed of doing this. That was never our plan when we started this band 20 years ago. And I'm just grateful to do this and to be. I hope that people will welcome me with an open heart. I will do the same. And I'm grateful for any kind of experience. And I'm sure that there will be a good party because we know how to do this, even without people understanding the words. We learned this the last few years to make people have fun with us, and I think this will work. And I'm just so looking forward. Anything that will happen will stay in my heart forever.
And this is awesome because you guys are your songs at least are famous about booze and epic parties. Are you guys excited to trade the booze with some Brazilian cachaça or caipirinha?
Yes, yes, of course. It's cerveja.
Yeah,
Uh,
cerveja, yeah.
yeah, I will. I think I need to learn a few things as well until then, because, for example, when we played in Great Britain for the first time last summer, I I traveled a lot to the UK, and I know British people, and I kind of feel their sense of humor and how they talk in the pub and stuff like that. So I made jokes on stage, and everybody was laughing, and I was like, okay, I know you guys. I don't know this from Brazilian people. I have no idea. I never traveled there, so I will just try to be as honest as possible. So,
You
because that's the
you will
only
be
chance.
you will be surprised.
Okay.
And um, you guys have the dancers Miesen that are essential part of Feuerschwanz visual
Absolutely.
identity. How important is the theatrical performance when playing a massive festival like any on the world, and of course bangers?
I think it's your only chance to stand out of the mass of metal bands with black coats and stuff is to do something different. And that's what we've been doing over here for years now. And we will do the same. We will bring all our stuff, our armors and our show stuff and our dancers, and we will um, sing our lyrics, and nobody will understand it. So the only way to communicate our massive or our message is by looking at stuff and showing stuff and living the thing that we want to communicate. If we want to make the people have a party, we have to make the party on stage, and then people will feel it, and then they can decide to, hey, cool, I can just join this party. And that's how we did it in the past, and I think it will. I hope it will work.
And one cool thing about Feuerschwanz is that the band was formed in Erlangen, and
Hmm.
Erlangen is famous for being a city that is super uh, funny because JBO comes from there as well. Uh, what, how is what is in the water in Erlangen in this city that makes people funny?
It's a good question, and I don't know because I'm from Nuremberg, and this is it's like 30 kilometers away or so. And yeah, I don't know. I think there was a generation, a whole generation of musicians older than me. I'm the youngest musician in Feuerschwanz. I joined when I was 17, and the other guys were already a few years older than me. And I was a big fan of JBO back then, for example. I just loved it. And everybody from my age, everyone who listens to rock music, knows the JBO parodies better than the original songs. I listened to it when I was a kid, and I don't know, it's just part of the rock music culture here. And I think it's a proof of the fact that when you make art or music or culture, you are building on top of what existed before. And that's a beautiful thing about arts and music and culture. You get educated by others, by the art of others, and then you kind of mix your own experience into this and create new stuff.
And they did a cover with Pavarotti as guest singer for Roots Bloody Roots. Is the Do you think there is like a future for you guys for Feuerschwanz that is also famous for being comedic with songs that are traditional in Europe? Maybe for a Brazilian song?
I don't know yet because I know I don't know enough Brazilian songs. Can you name one? Do you know a song which we could
Girl from Ipanema.
reimagine? You're from
Girl,
Ipanema.
that's the
Is it
first
really a
one.
Brazilian song or
Yes, it
is it
is.
American?
It is. It is a Brazilian song. It was composed by uh, 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 I think it's João Gilberto, is a very famous guitar player, acoustic guitar player,
Ah,
and he was one responsible for bossa nova, the
oh
creation
yeah.
of a style in Brazil. And it is interesting, but at least you can do like a version for one song you've already covered, Dragonstein Day. We have a song Festa in no AP here in Brazil. It's a party in an apartment, so you can just
Yeah.
switch for Portuguese language, and you have a song covered.
Oh, so you have this song in Portuguese. Das existe hier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Festeno up.
Exactly.
This is a great idea, my friend. I
So
think
you
there is
can
a
use
Spanish
that.
version as well.
Yes, exactly. But you can say it's from Latino, and we did a
Yeah.
version because everybody knows this song, at least in Portuguese. Everybody will know how to sing that one.
I- Is it more? Is the Portuguese version more known as the Spanish version?
Yes, exactly. They know
I
that
think
it's
so.
there is a it's a Romanian song,
Yeah.
and it was the Romanian song was covered by this Brazilian artist because it was he brought it here and made it into a party. It's called they have like bundalele, a part of the song. Bundalele is like showing their butts on a window. It's super funny. At least the version in Portuguese is so different than the European one. So I think you guys should
Okay.
at least give it a try.
Yes, we should. Thank you for this. That's a great idea. I think we want to play the song, but I think we will have to play the Portuguese version.
Exactly.
It's no other chance. Is there maybe an artist who would sing this with us? An artist who can actually sing Portuguese?
You have to. There will be a lot of bands in Brazil playing in at bangers. Maybe one of them will join you guys on stage and sing that one in Portuguese with you.
I think we will have to check out some information, but it would be awesome.
Exactly. This would be funny.
Yes, I know from the past that when you do this and it's of course it's way easier to play it the same way as we do it all the time. But when you put in the effort, you will gain friends forever. So
Exactly.
I learned a song in Spanish last year to play on a festival in Spain with my other band, and I learned Spanish all the time, and I learned the lyrics, and I learned in the airplane, I learned the lyrics all the time. And I was like super excited because of this stupid lyrics. I couldn't remember them. And I did it, and people went completely crazy, and it was so cool. I
It
want
is.
to do this again.
Yeah, the Brazilians are super funny with
Yeah.
these kind of songs, so it is funny. You guys are funny. It just matches so
Okay.
good.
Yes. Festa no AP. Festa no AP.
Festa Norte, exactly.
Okay.
Lacino is the name of the singer. Search it on
Latin.
Spotify.
Okay, I will do it now after the interview.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben, for your
Okay, thank
time.
you. Have a nice one.
Vielen Dank für deine Zeit
Danke.
und hoffentlich treffen wir uns auf Bangers.
Ich bin mir sicher.
Ne? Also
Markus.
habt
Ja.
noch einen schönen Tag.
Ja,
Bis
ebenso.
bald.
Bis dann. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Ciao.